But first, and our top story today, it's the worst attack on the Indian Army in the last 2 decades on a single day. Militants today in Manipur have ambushed a military convoy in Manipur's Chandel district, killing at least 20 army personnel, injuring 11 others. The NSCN, ULFA, Kamtapur Liberation Organization and NDFP have all claimed responsibility for the attack. The militant group used landmines, rocket-propelled grenades and automatic weapons to attack the convoy of 4 army vehicles. The attack taking place about 80 kilometers from the capital of Manipur. A high-level meet has been held by the government this afternoon, attended by the Home Minister, Defence Minister and the National Security Advisor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called the attack mindless and distressing. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar has condemned it, said those who have committed it are cowardly and will be brought to book. It's our big story at the moment. Gaurav Sawant is joining me for the very latest. Gaurav, I want to understand from you first. 4 groups are claiming responsibility at the moment for this attack. What are your sources saying in the army? Who was responsible for this terrible attack?
The KYKL, it's Manipur People's Liberation Army. That's a Meitei terrorist group that's suspected to be directly involved. But this was a joint operation of an umbrella organization of terrorists that has come together after the NSC and IM and K split in Nagaland. There has been a major realignment of terrorist forces in the northeast. And this is one of the first major strikes by this new terrorist outfit where they ambushed an army patrol, an army convoy, Rajdeep, that was returning to Imphal. 6th Battalion, the Dogra Regiment. These soldiers had finished their tour of duty. They were to return home when they were ambushed. Rocket-propelled grenades, rocket launchers, automatic assault rifles and IEDs. A simultaneous attack. 50+ terrorists attacked this convoy and targeted the defense personnel, Rajdeep.
You know, Gaurav, the fact though is that has this been building up? Because for a long time we haven't heard of such a major attack taking place on the forces in Manipur and indeed across the northeast. Has there been some build up to this that has led to this possibly?
For the past 6 months, there has been a building up of a realignment of terrorist forces in the northeast. For the past 20 years, there were various agreements in place between the central government and various anti-national elements or these separatist organizations of the northeast. There were agreements in place, but ever since NSC and K walked out of an agreement and NSC and IM became the chosen one of the center, so to say, there has been a realignment of these anti-national elements, and NSC and K has been moving around. Now, if we were to talk specifically of Manipur, Rajdeep, there are 32 terrorist organizations that operate in a small state like Manipur. This is also a turf war that is going on. It's not just the government of India or the state government, but terrorists collect taxes, and this is also a war for tax collection amongst these terrorist organizations, and this is an area domination exercise by these terrorists where these soldiers were caught in the crossfire.
I just wanted to hold that thought because the DG Police of Manipur is joining me. Mr. Ahmed, I appreciate your joining us. Tell us a little bit more details. We are told that many of the bodies of the Jawans, sir, are being now taken to Nagaland and operations are on now to identify those responsible for this in deep forested areas about 150 kilometers away from Manipur. Have I got my facts from Imphal? Okay, I'm trying to get those details. Gaurav, is that right that there is an operation now in deeply forested areas that's going on as we speak? I know it's nightfall now, but the army has decided to launch a massive operation to identify those responsible for this?
Rajdeep, this is an extremely porous border, Churachandpur and Chandel, and I've reported from ground zero in these districts of Manipur. It's a very porous border with Myanmar and very close to Myanmar. So these terrorists easily slip across into Myanmar, and any operation would require a lot of assistance from the Myanmar army. That is what is being done. But even as we speak, the army's launched a massive combing operation. They'll attempt to seal off the border. The main attack group may have left for Myanmar. but there will be remnants, elements that they will be able to nail, and a joint operation with the Myanmar army, we're told, is on the cards. The government tomorrow is likely to make a major announcement on a new policy of dealing with these anti-national forces. In the next couple of days, we'll see a lot of forward movement from Government of India on these organizations, whether in Nagaland or in Manipur.
One last question, Gaurav. The bodies of our Jawans have been moved to Nagaland, I'm told, and many of them are, apart from those dead, a number of them seriously injured.
That's right, Rajdeep. What happened was these terrorists were on higher ground. They opened fire with rocket-propelled grenades. There were four trucks in this military convoy. The first two trucks caught fire. Several soldiers were unfortunately charred beyond recognition because they were trapped inside these two trucks. Now, the bodies were then immediately airlifted to Limakong in Nagaland, and from there to Rangapahad, which is the core headquarters. From there, bodies of these soldiers who had finished their tour of duty, now unfortunately, instead of coming back home alive, they'll come back home in these body bags. But while the critically injured soldiers are being treated, some in Nagaland itself and others being airlifted to Delhi, on ground, the army is mounting a massive operation to ensure that there is no repeat of a situation like this ever again.
Gaurav Sawant, appreciate your joining us. We'll try and also go back later in the show to the DG of Manipur. Thanks very much for giving us that comprehensive update of what has happened in Manipur today. Our thoughts really with the families of the Jawans.